Greetings. For those who played the OG Final Fantasy VII, Jenova's origins, abilities, and impact on the narrative will be all too familiar, but for those who didn't, it's not so obvious. The remake merely scratched the surface for newcomers and left more questions than answers. Personally, when I think about Jenova's abilities and origins, I'm reminded of the alien creature from The Thing, and its motivations seem reminiscent of the Brethren Moons from the Dead Space series. In this video, we'll talk about what Jenova is, what its abilities are, and what type of threat it poses. Approximately 2,000 years before the current timeline of Final Fantasy VII, an alien entity made its disastrous descent onto Gaia aboard a meteorite. The impact burned the northern crater, with the alien creature awakening from its frozen tomb to ravage the land. This ominous threat, brimming with a malevolent virus, preyed upon the Cetra, a nomadic race who looked identical to humans and lived in harmony with the planet, nurturing life as they traveled. They sported several abilities, making them stand out from humans. The Cetra can communicate with the planet, allowing them to understand its desires and needs. They can also guide and manipulate the life stream, the flow of spiritual energy to cultivate life and heal the planet. This peaceful existence was shattered with the arrival of Jenova by transforming them into horrific monsters and decimating their civilization. As the Cetra were pushed to the brink of extinction, humanity, their descendant race, concealed themselves from the aliens' onslaught. A band of Cetra survivors rallied together, managing to quarantine the creature within the confines of the northern crater with the help of Shiva. Here it lay dormant, buried under ice and memory, as the Cetra themselves faded into legend. The rise of the Shinra Electric Power Company marked a new era for Gaia. Commanding the planet with Mako energy, Shinra's insatiable quest for power led them to the Cetra's fabled Promised Land, a realm of boundless Mako energy. The long-forgotten alien creature, unearthed 3 decades prior to Final Fantasy VII's unfolding by Professor Gast, was misidentified as a Cetra named Jenova. This marked the commencement of the ill-fated Jenova project, a doomed endeavor by Shinra scientists to craft a human Cetra hybrid from Jenova's cells, destined to guide them to the Promised Land. Although it was confined for millennia within the northern crater, this alien intruder left a lasting scar on the planet. Jenova's unique name intertwines Jehovah, a romanization of a name for the Abrahamic god, and Nova, symbolizing both newness and cosmic cataclysm, therefore meaning new god. This confluence of terms underscores its devastating impact in the creation of a new dire era for Gaia. The ancient entity's age remains shrouded in mystery, but its millennia-spanning dormancy suggests an existence predating Gaia itself. After decimating a planet, Jenova commandeers it as a vessel to traverse the cosmos, seeking another planet to conquer. Due to its shape-shifting abilities, Jenova's appearance is a thing of mystery. When dormant, Jenova is depicted as a gray-skinned woman, sometimes appearing blue, potentially due to its containment unit. Despite its feminine appearance, Jenova's true gender remains ambiguous, as it is referred to with neutral or masculine pronouns in different game versions, and in Cetra folklore, Jenova is simply referred to as the Calamity from the Skies. As we get our first look at Jenova, it can be surmised that what we're seeing is the form it took before its dormancy in the northern crater, and it was most likely taking on the traits of one of its Cetra victims before its temporary defeat. Externally, Jenova appears bare with an organ resembling a heart at its feet. Numerous tubes, similar to ventricles, are connected to this organ, extending throughout its body, and a large, pinker tube inserts into its abdomen, or what seems like an empty space in its torso. If we look to the backside of this creature, we can see that it sports similarly colored appendages with a wing-like structure on the left and a stub on the right. As we move up to the face, Jenova possesses long silver hair, a glowing red left eye, and no apparent right eye, often concealed by its hair. Atop Jenova's head, a special headgear is adorned, linking to its container. Above this, a visible brain rests within the cranium. This form of the creature looks strangely human, and why I suspect this is due to it taking on the form of a Cetra before its ultimate defeat at the northern crater. When we eventually see the creature at Mount Nebel, Jenova's container is obscured by a metallic construct known as the Jenova doll, resembling an angel's torso. This doll, connected to various cables, covers Jenova in the sides of the container. A tube connects from the chamber's entrance to the doll's midpoint, mirroring Jenova's own anatomical feature leading to its heart-like organ, and at the entrance of this chamber, there's a sign that features the word Jenova. The form Jenova takes in combat is drastically different, and can be best described as a monster of Lovecraftian inspiration. Jenova has an arsenal of abilities that make it an extinction-level threat and almost impossible to defeat. Jenova possesses a unique genetic structure that functions as a two-way channel. It can assimilate the traits of its victims while inserting its own genetic material into them, transforming other life forms into hostile monsters. Upon arriving on a planet, Jenova embarks on a path of total destruction, annihilating all life forms it encounters. It has the chilling ability to absorb the memories and appearances of its prey, allowing it to disguise itself as a loved one to facilitate their annihilation. This terrifying creature's impact persists even after its cells have been separated from its main body. As outlined in Professor Hojo's Jenova reunion theory, these detached cells will inherently seek to reunite, and when infected within a host, they can exert influence over both mind and body, compelling them to join this ominous reunion. This influence can be so potent that it results in the death of the host organism. Additionally, these cells have been shown to have other profound effects on the host. Lucrezia Crescent, the biological mother of Sephiroth, and Hojo began a relationship which led to Lucrezia's pregnancy. Despite their personal connection, they jointly decided to utilize their unborn child as a test subject for the Jenova project. This involved implanting the embryo with Jenova cells. This experimental procedure did not go as planned. It resulted in Lucrezia enduring frequent pain and unsettling visions. She was haunted by premonitions of her son and the future horrors he would unknowingly unleash. Stricken with guilt and loss due to her actions, Lucrezia attempted to end her own life, but the Jenova cells prevented this, adding to the mystery of what these cells can do to a host body. Uniquely, organisms impacted by Jenova often develop a single, functional wing. Additionally, their pupils may transform into a cat-like slit, leaving the remainder of the eye unaltered. This alien's destructive reach extends beyond its physical form, even post-destruction. Jenova's cells persist within the lifestream. At the conclusion of Final Fantasy VII, the lifestream surged across the planet in its attempt to obliterate the meteor. Thousands encountered these lingering cells, leading to widespread infection. The human body's excessive efforts to expel these foreign cells caused the emergence of sores and scars, resulting in the devastating plague known as geostigma. In the fetal stage, Sephiroth, destined to become the ultimate soldier, was infused with Jenova cells. Unaware of his role in the Jenova project, he was misled by his biological father, Professor Hojo. Hojo falsely claimed that Jenova was his mother who died during childbirth, concealing the truth about his real mother, Lucrezia Crescent, and his fabricated parentage. Years later, Sephiroth, alongside Zack Fair and Cloud Strife, was sent to the Nibelheim reactor. There they encountered Machinoids, humans mutated by excessive Mako infusion. Confronted with these beings, Sephiroth's suspicions about his own origins surfaced. His fears were confirmed by the rogue Genesis, who disclosed the truth about the Jenova project, labeling Sephiroth as the quote-unquote perfect monster birthed from it. Desperate for answers, Sephiroth scoured the Shinra Mansion's basement, relentlessly studying the Jenova project. The revelations he unearthed shattered his sanity. Believing himself as a betrayed Cetra descendant, he unleashed havoc, annihilating Nibelheim. He then ventured back to the reactor to reclaim his mother, only to be gravely injured by Cloud. With Jenova's head in his possession, he plunged into the life stream beneath the reactor. Post the massacre, Shinra forces assumed control of the reactor. Under Hojo's direction, the survivors were subjected to Jenova cell injections, creating Sephiroth clones vulnerable to Sephiroth's will. Officially declared dead, Sephiroth's physical form languished while Jenova's headless remains were transported to Midgar, placed within Hojo's lab. The Jenova cells within Sephiroth prohibited his complete absorption into the lifestream. His sentient will traversed the lifestream, garnering extensive knowledge about Jenova, the Cetra, and life's intricate cycle. With a newfound objective to ascend as a god and dominate the planet, Sephiroth's will overpowered Jenova's. He wielded his influence over those tainted with Jenova cells, morphing them into vessels mirroring his likeness and orchestrating a strategy to secure the black materia. This powerful object would enable him to wield the ultimate black magic spell, furthering his celestial ambitions. In the early stages of Final Fantasy VII's development, Jenova's role and origins were much different. According to the Final Fantasy VII Ultimania Omega, an early version of the Final Fantasy VII script made it more explicit that the party is pursuing Jenova rather than Sephiroth. Instead of individuals, the Sephiroth clones were actually pieces of Jenova, disguised as people under cloaks. Each part was labeled either as its hand, thumb, or heart, which is why Cloud refers to Jenova Birth as the arm of Jenova upon its defeat. There were also 2 additional boss fights planned, one between Cosmo Canyon and Nibelheim, and another in the Temple of the Ancients. Furthermore, in other early game plans, Jenova wasn't even an alien, but a specific region of the human brain or genes, and the term Jenova was derived from a Cedra book and was awakened in rare individuals naturally or through exposure to Mako energy. This book, known as both the Book of God and the Book of the Devil, detailed the unknown aspects of the human brain or genes. Those in whom Jenova was awakened were referred to as thaumaturge, indicating individuals with exceptional senses beyond ordinary humans, whether innate like Aerith or acquired like Sephiroth. Despite the variance in abilities, thaumaturges could sense and be drawn to each other, with some even sensitive to others' thoughts. The Turks were initially intended to be adept at locating these individuals. Even though this original concept of Jenova as a state of mind was scrapped, it later had an influence on games like Parasite Eve. In the entire Final Fantasy VII compilation, Jenova is credited with uttering only a single line of dialogue. This statement is made right after the party overcomes Jenova life, declaring, quote-unquote, "because you are a puppet." And that concludes today's video analyzing Jenova. As always, I can't thank y'all enough for all the support you've shown, and I can't wait to bring more content in the future. Make sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, and if you want to see more lore videos covering a wide variety of topics, hit that subscribe button. See you in the next one.